Call the meeting to order, 7 o'clock. We're going to go into executive session. Can I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss the employment history of a teacher? Motion? Motion by Travis, second. Second by Nicole. Please proceed to vote by hand. We will make it as Okay, good evening, everyone. We're going to resume the meeting, and please join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, to the republic, one nation, indivisible, liberty, and justice. Okay, we are at item number 3. A is the audit report from our external auditors, Justin Wood from Nugent and Hostler, PC. Welcome.
Okay, now you can hear me? There we go. So thank you for having me. My name is Justin Wood. I am the external auditor. I'm with the external auditors for the Tri-Valley Central School District. My firm name is Nugent and Hauser PC. We are out of Montgomery, New York. That is in Orange County, New York. So I went over the audit report with the audit committee today at 6 p.m. I won't bore everybody with all of those details today. They just want to hit on some key points. Most importantly, that the opinion that that we gave on the audit report on the financial statements was an unmodified opinion. It's otherwise known as a clean opinion. It is the highest level of assurance that we can give. Unfortunately, there is also an opinion on the internal controls of the school districts where we had no findings, and also gave an unmodified opinion, clean opinion on the extra classroom activity fund, which again is our highest level of assurance that we can give on an audit report. Other than that, the one item that we could not include in this report was the single audit, and that was due to the fact that the federal government has not issued the 2025 compliance supplement that we are required to use to audit. So therefore, we will have to follow up with that at a future date. The district is in good financial condition. They have done a good job of using the reserves to finance capital projects and to keep the debt down of the district. And we'll be in communication throughout the year on any questions that they may have as they navigate through the next budget season and through this year's financial statements as well. If there's any questions on anything at this point in time. Okay, so I mean that's a difficult thing for me to do because that would be on a different. So all we really can do is give our opinion, which is the unmodified, which is our highest level of assurance. So as far as the audit goes, it's more of like a pass-fail, and that would be a pass. As far as the financial strength, I mean that really that differs in your approach or your opinion on your approach to the budgeting. Really, the fund balance is not at the maximum 4% that it can be. So I guess the fund balance could be more. The district is going to take steps that we've discussed in the 25-26 year to help that fund balance. As far as there is capital projects that are completed that have surplus that the district is going to, that I've recommended that the district transfer from those capital projects over to the general fund to help that fund balance situation. But kind of not really allowed to give a specific grade, but only in that we had an unmodified opinion on the financial statements, which is again our highest level of assurance we can give. Anyone else? Thank you. All right, great. I am available for one-on-one questions from anyone at any point in time. Thank you. Have a great year and take care.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you. Okay, moving to item number 4 is correspondence. We have one item. I will read this letter from the Daniel Pierce Library to the superintendent, Erin Long. Dear Erin, we cannot thank you enough for allowing your staff and students to take time out of their busy week to lend a hand setting up for this year's giant pumpkin party. We couldn't have done it without this collaboration, which we are grateful for. Everyone's efforts and enthusiasm during our giant pumpkin party prep week set us up for success to which the community reaped the rewards. The 39th annual giant pumpkin party was a tremendous success for everyone involved. As you know, the giant pumpkin party is a yearly community event and fundraiser for the Daniel Pierce Library. Thanks to the hard work and dedication of hundreds of community volunteers year in and year out, the Daniel Pierce Library has been able to maintain and increase its collection, offer a variety of programs for all ages, updated needed technology for use by our community members, and provide space for local organizations to meet and advance the cause of literacy in our community. Once again, many thanks for your support. We look forward to future collaborations with the school. Warmly, Kathy Russo, Library Manager, and Catherine Kuhn, Trustee. Thank you. Moving to item number 5 is public comment session for items that are on tonight's agenda. I don't think I have anybody signed up. So we will move to item number 6 is presentations from the administrative staff.
Good evening, everyone. So we'll just do a little snapshot of what our teachers got to experience this week. So on Monday, we had our superintendent's conference day. We have one more scheduled throughout the year. So kind of just a variety of options that we provided for our teachers. So we had 23 synchronous sessions. That means they could sign up during the day and go with the trainer. So we had some variety of people come. Sullivan County BOCES provides us with what's called Model School Days. So we purchased some programs through them that our teacher uses, and then they provide training. So we had a couple different options throughout the day. One especially that was popular was the Google Suite. So, you know, with AI and all the new additions, Google has significantly changed over just in the last couple of years. So we had this room filled with a large number of teachers, both secondary and elementary school, just coming to learn kind of some of the tips and tricks of how Google has changed. We brought in our trainer who does the Writing Revolution, which is a systematic writing program that spans K all the way up to 12, depending on how it fits in curriculum, but really focus on our K-8 teachers to kind of give them a little boost to see how they could help enhance some of their writing practices in all subject areas. Parent Squares we've been using, had a kind of refresh with Melanie Menke, who helped teachers kind of troubleshoot or learn some of the new features that go along with that so we can help better our communication with parents in the community. Then we had our TOSA do some different trainings with Newsella and Magic School 2 programs. We also purchased SAT prep. You would think we could get people to come in. Very hard to find anyone. We actually found a company out of Texas who does SAT prep, and our trainer came in from Louisiana, all paid through title grants to help work with our math and ELA teachers to kind of give them a refresh on some of the new ways that the test is done, some tips and tricks there. This way, when we can start providing after school sessions, our teachers are up to date on kind of some of the most current models of how to help kids perform. And then we went through a couple different things. We had some wellness. One of our teachers did some sound healing. We did some weight room training. We had Sullivan 180 come in and do a catch our breath. And then we were able to send some teachers out to Sullivan County BOCES to do some tier 1 kind of behavior interventions. If none of that fit into your calendar or what you professionally needed, we provided what was called some independent sessions. So we were asked, we're doing our iReady Math pilot. They needed some time with their trainer, gave them kind of some homework. They were here last week just to work on really diving into that program through our pilot. There is requests for teaching standards, so we created trainings for standards 1, 2, and 3. Those new avenues go kind of into what used to be APPR, will now be the STEPS plan. So we're just trying to get ahead on some things that may be optional for our teachers. And then we had some trauma and de-escalation training and any other options. So we have an art program we pay for, a couple online training platforms. Our PT and OTs also get online platforms that provide training, and our kindergarten and pre-K also goes through the creative curriculum, where all these programs we pay have built-in training. So we allow our teachers to have the opportunity to really fill their day with items that they think are most beneficial for them, so that they can be most beneficial for our kids. And this has kind of been our approach the last couple of times to build capacity in our teaching staff. Do we have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So I just wanted to let you know we had a department meeting on October 15th. It went really well. As I stated last month, we're doing an audit this year on our IEPs. The staff was very receptive to doing that. So we're going to take a look at how they're written, and we'll continue with the audit this month and next month, and then we'll come to some consensus on the IEPs and how language that we're going to use moving forward. And we're also reviewing and refining a lot of the office procedures. I have to say, Kate McCulick, my new secretary, is fantastic. She keeps me on track, and she's really great at making checklists. So now we have checklists for everything, and we're refining them as we together move forward with any procedures that we come across. So that's an update from us. Any questions? All right. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So the MTSS department is certainly, it's a busy time with the end of the marking period that is upon us. Our end of marking period has concluded. All the grades have been submitted, and now it's time to take a look at that. In the meantime, we do have some MTSS intervention team meetings that are happening. Those meetings are triggered by staff members who fill out a request for assistance form. This year is the first year that that form is accessible to our secondary school staff. I reported last time, and I continue to be very impressed by how the secondary school teachers are taking advantage of using that form to reach out for support for some of their students. To date, we have a lot of those secondary school teachers who are requesting some support for attendance concerns, but we also have some teachers who have reached out for some academic concerns. This process is something that has been in place for the elementary school, so we are also having those meetings. Those numbers and the frequency of those requests are very typical for what we've had historically in the elementary school, but I am happy to report that the secondary school teachers are taking advantage of it, and I hope more so now that the marking period has ended. And as we continue to look at those marking period grades, I just will continue to remind the secondary school staff that we're here to help. So if there are students that are not finding success in their curriculums, then certainly that request for assistance form is there for them to be able to reach out and get some ideas as to how to better create their curriculum and their instruction in order to address some of the student needs. Through the MTSS department, at the start of the school year, permission forms are sent out for any students who are carrying over their need for occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech therapy. So with that being said, we've had 39 consents go out so that those students can continue to receive those services, and all of those consents have come back so that those students are able to get that and be able to continue their growth in those particular areas. Through the meetings that we are having, we're finding new students who need some of that, some of those evaluations done. So we have 12 new consents as of this slide being prepared, but since then there have been some new consents that go out. With that process, once the parent receives the consent, there's conversations about what the need is, what the teacher's concerns are that they're noticing about the child, and then the parent will sign the consent, it comes back, and then we go ahead and initiate and assign one of the professionals in that particular area to do an evaluation. That evaluation report is brought back to the MTSS team, and we have a conversation about what recommendations that provider would have. So that system is certainly operating with success. And finally, our Panorama Student Success Platform. It has been extremely helpful. I know that on this slide, I said that those results are being reviewed during MTSS intervention meetings, but I would also have to add that those survey results from students that they took in the fall, and also last year in the winter and springtime, those results are also being used during some of the PLC conversations. So as we're having those PLC meetings, certainly we are having some social emotional learning, that group of professionals during their PLC. That information has been extremely beneficial as we're talking about students who may be struggling either to attend or just struggling academically, to see how those students rated themselves and their performance going into this school year. Within that platform, we can see how the students rated themselves last school year, and it draws a nice graph for us to see if the students have rated themselves either higher this year or lower this year. So that is certainly inspiring some conversation and some follow-up to happen. So we certainly have a year of work cut out for us, but I feel like we're certainly going in the right direction. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So I have a little bit of a mixed bag for you all tonight. The first thing I wanted to touch on is we've begun recently in the tech department what I'm considering what likely a multi-year focus. Over time, we have purchased a variety of different products. We may be looking for something with functionality A, and we research all of the available options, and we choose what we feel is the best option for the best price for that given function. Same thing with a variety of other things. Most IT products over time tend to kind of morph, they add additional functionality, and they kind of become Swiss Army knives from a technical perspective. What that leads to is there's a lot of overlap. So for the next 2 years, we're really looking at trying not to implement new things, but to really focus in on the things we've already implemented, look at areas where we might be able to take a product and implement its secondary functionality or tertiary, features that it has, and potentially get rid of other products. And really the end goal there is in that last kind of subpoint to reduce cost while maintaining quality and functionality. And that is going to be my primary focus throughout all of that. I'm not going to simply go, okay, we can do this if it's going to result in a reduction of the experience for teachers or for students. Obviously, that comes first. If we can reduce cost while still maintaining the high level of service we provide, that's what we're looking to do. The next point there is kind of along those lines. We're also evaluating some potential changes to multiple cybersecurity products. We do have multiple layers of defense that we have in place in each kind of the attack avenues. And we're constantly looking as the threat landscape evolves. We're always looking at, are the products that we're using performing for us the way we want to? And are there other products out there that might perform as well and potentially represent cost savings? This time of year is a very busy time for us. We're doing systems hardening prior to the holidays. I've mentioned it before, during Thanksgiving break, during Christmas break, during summer break is a key time that cyber criminals will attack school districts. They know that the IT staff is on vacation, often traveling to see family, and they know that schools are at their most vulnerable then and we're least able to respond. So a couple of years ago, I put in place a policy that before every break, we would go through and make sure that every system that we have is updated and protected against any known vulnerabilities as it possibly can be before we go out those doors to enjoy Thanksgiving with families. The next point is kind of a meta point, I think, of the presentations. So in Silicon Valley, they had a reputation years ago for a kind of policy called move fast and break things. They were really trying to implement new things and be innovative, and that was kind of their philosophy. Here, obviously, in my past in healthcare and here in education, that's very much not the way we want to conduct projects. We want to make sure that teaching can happen reliably every day. We don't want to break things. We want to make sure the students can do their stuff. As a result, our projects will sometimes often move more slowly than I would like. As a result, when I come here to present to you each month, sometimes I feel like I look at my previous month's slides and I'm like, yep, that's still what we're doing. So as a result, I'm bringing this up here to explain, A, why that is, but also to kind of turn that around and look at this as an opportunity. If there are things about the tech department, about the things that we do, or about our interactions and our kind of symbiosis with other departments, in the way that we work together in the school, I would love to present on those and let you and fill you in on those things. So if there's anything, you don't have to tell me now, you can let me know at any point. But if there are things you're interested in knowing more about, by all means, please let me know, and I'll make sure to include that in future presentations. Any questions? Absolutely. And I was going to actually mention that with the move fast and break things, because that's very much the way the AI is proceeding these days. So, yeah.
I'd also like to talk about what more the tech department can do in helping our students deal with the onslaught of spam text messages and emails that are looking more and more real, and how they can decipher what is and is not real.
Absolutely.
I think it would be a good idea if you also included the things that the student volunteers were doing in the IT department, because I have a few friends that are in the IT department always talking about these great projects that they're working on. I think it'd be great.
Absolutely. So little sneak preview. I don't want to kind of spoil the movie ahead of time, but we do have students, some who worked with us in the previous summer, some who haven't, but are volunteering with us throughout the school year. And as Christopher mentioned, they are doing some really neat projects, and the one that they are tweaking and getting into a finished state, as soon as that's finished, they're going to put together a presentation, and I'm actually going to bring them in so they can actually present that to you as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to give you the status of the secondary school. It is great. The school spirit is thriving. Hard to believe that our first quarter ended on Friday, so our first quarter report cards will be going out. Our attendance I did this report on Monday, is 92.8%. That is up 1.3% from last year, so that's a good sign. Lots of student projects going on. They had a blood drive going on around the school. They did the Field of Flags and a Veterans Day assembly. They're also doing peer tutoring. Our students are very engaged and doing a lot for the community and helping each other, so they're beautiful. It's beautiful kids. The seniors, we were provided 2 financial aid nights for families to come in and get help with financial aid. We have scholarships, both local and state. They're posted daily via Google Classroom. And senior canvases are starting, and you'll be seeing them around here hopefully very soon. For our PLCs, we're answering our first question: what is it we want our students to know and be able to do? So that's our PLC work, and really it's working through the curriculum maps and priority standards and really aligning the PLC to that framework. So that's what we've been doing. Status is great. Any questions?
I have one on the FAFSA nights. I think it's great that you did them. Would it be possible in the future to do them prior to October 1st when FAFSA opens?
I will make a note of that.
Possibly?
Mhm.
Because by the time I found out about these nights, we were done.
Okay,
So
thank you for that.
The Field of Flags was absolutely great. There's so many comments from the community about that. It really brought the attention to Tri Valley.
Oh, yeah, it did. And at this point, I'd like to thank Sergeant Sheldon Dillon for presenting at both the Field of Flags and the Veteran Assembly. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. October was Rocktober for us at the elementary school. We had a lot of fun events going on. I'd like to thank the fire companies that are around the community for coming in for Fire Safety Day. We had our Big Apple Crunch. All of our students were outside and all took a bite of an apple at the same time. And we did our annual character parade, which was always involved with fun. There was a lot of weather mishaps that morning, so we were able to get it in, which was good. And as soon as we came back inside, the skies decided to open up for us and rain on our parade. Luckily, our parade was already inside. Our attendance goal was reached for October again. We're holding pretty steady at 95%. This is a short month with a few breaks involved, so we'll see how that goes. We've been meeting with Ms. Williams, Ms. Bringle, and I on our chronic attendance concerns that we have, and have come up with pretty good game plans with the teachers to encourage a higher attendance for those students. As Mr. Fantini said, the quarter has wrapped up. We'll have our honor roll, high honor roll principals list. All that stuff will be out this week, hopefully, if not early next week. And we're prepared to have our honor roll breakfast with our students on the 24th of November. And PLCs are in the same boat as the high schools. So we are working on what do we want our students to know at this moment. We've rolled into it pretty well, did some differentiated instruction, changed some templates up to help the teachers out in the last couple of weeks. And we'll keep rolling on that work until we get to the next step. One thing that was not on the PowerPoint, I would be remiss to mention, we had the Lion C program in today, and it was extremely beneficial for our students. We had 130 kids signed up to get screened, and the Lion C program referred 28 of them. They'll be sent out by our office coming up soon. What's fantastic about them is they're going to send a list of providers that is also kid-friendly, so that when they get the referral, the parents will be able to have the opportunity to touch base with a kid-friendly eye professional to see what supports they can get their kids. So I would really like to shout out Mr. Wiswer for showing up today with his team. He did send a couple of emails and links that I can share with the board at a later date, just to give more awareness to eye health and keeping our kids seeing clearly. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving to the next item is the superintendent's report from Ms. Erin Long.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I do want to say thank you to our administrative team. I ask a lot of you, and you put together a great presentation each month, and it's so nice for the board to see all the great things you're doing. I also want to give a thank you to Justin Wood and the auditing committee and auditing team that's been working on our financials. Our report was great, and it's really good to hear all the work that we're doing, and we have to keep that up. I want to give just a little bit of update on our tax collection and some appreciation to our community. I am pleased to share that of the $22.7 million in our tax warrant, we have collected $21.1 million, which is about a 95.3% collection rate. So I want to say a deep thank you to our community for your support, for your continued commitment to our schools, to keeping our future bright for our kids. Some rural schools update. Last weekend, I attended the Rural Schools Board of Directors meeting alongside about 30 colleagues around the state. I serve on the legislative team, and we did a lot of conversations, had a lot of conversations about legislation and what the budget is going to look like in New York State for this year and the upcoming years. And while it's great to talk with our rural partners, we all found that we were very unique in the schools that we offer and the things that we do. So that is the direction that we're heading. We're going to continue to advocate with our legislatures, with our governmental folks, and hope for the best when the budget comes out. We have received the following foils on October 14th from Janet Diamond for the closing journal entries, both automated and manual for 22-23, 23-24, and 24-25 school years. Treasurer reports for July, August, September, and October of 25. Cash receipts and WinCap, including history for each entry for all taxes collected for the 25-26 school year. 24-25 audit report from external auditors due on October 5th, 2025. We received another foil from Janet Diamond on October 14th for all documents pertaining to conferences or other professional development attended by any employee of the district, including registration fees, hotel costs, mileage, and meal reimbursements for the 25-26 school year, and all documents pertaining to expenditures, shirts, banners, mats, etc., related to Many Bears One Den, a phrase that continues to spread misinformation about the behavior of bears and for which taxpayer dollars are used to misinform students, staff, and the public. I want to give a shout out to our theater club this weekend. I see some are just coming downstairs from practice. They'll be putting on 2 performances on Friday and Saturday night. The Somewhat True Tale of Robin Hood. Both performances begin at 7, and more information is on our website for ticket sales. I also want to give a shout out to our 15 cross-country students who are leaving tomorrow to head to Queensbury High School to run in the state championship on Saturday. We expect some wonderful, great results. Weather looks great. It's going to be cold and crispy, but a little bit of sun. And tomorrow morning, we will be sending off all of our students at 10 a.m. We'll do a hallway walkthrough before they get on the bus to leave. And hot off the press, next week will be our first edition of our guidepost coming out. We're just waiting on the final honor rolls to be put into there. It's a wonderful edition. The pictures are great. Miss Melanie Menke does a wonderful job. Got a lot of updates to our community about weather and sickness and all the back to school good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving to item number 8 is items that the board would like pulled from tonight's agenda. Anything?
I have one. It is 11G.
11G is in George. The contract invoice? Is that it? So we'll pull that off and we'll do that separately, all right? Anything else?
Yeah, warrant 6, page 12.
Warrant 6. So that's 11B.
Page 12. Warrant 6.
Well, we have to pull the whole warrant.
No, I know.
Anything else? Okay, so can I have a motion to accept the entire consent agenda with the exception of 11B and 11G? Motion? Motion by Kerry,
Second.
second by Travis. Now we have to vote by hand. The meeting thing is not working. So all in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? George, did you raise your hand? That's unanimous. Okay, be resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the entire consent agenda, categories 10 through 14, with the exception of 11B and 11G. Okay, now we'll do, you want to do 11B first? George? Are you ready? Oh, it's not up for discussion at this point. Are you ready to go? We're gonna make a motion. Motion to, can I have a motion to open up 11B for discussion? Oh, motion by Kerry, second.
Second.
Tammy? You got? That's you.
I got warrant number 6 I'm talking about. And maybe mine is all screwed up. I don't know. It's page 12.
It's 11B. It's warrant 6.
And number 12. Page 12. It has to do with the, specifically the name, Never Sink Track Club. What is that? And it gives a description of Hilton bus driver. What is that about?
So the Never Sink Track Club is the booster club for the cross country team. So this bus charge was when the kids were transported to the airport to their Arizona race. And they used a Beacon has several companies, and this bus was Hilton. I think it was a part of a Beacon bus. It was not a Rolling V bus that picked him up.
Explain, how is that a charge to the district? Look, I don't have a problem with the kids going. I just want to know how.
So
how they come
we
about.
cover the cost of the bus, of the transportation. So they paid the entrance fee and they paid for the travel and the hotel and all the food. The district picked up the cost for the bus, the transportation to the airport and from the airport. And we do that for all of our athletes.
And that went where?
That went to, I think, LaGuardia or JFK, where they flew to Arizona when they went to the race at the end of September.
So I understand it. Need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anybody else want to have anything to say about that? Okay, so we'll vote on it. All in favor of approving 11B is the warrant number 6 and associated claims auditor report. All in favor, raise your hands. It is unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby accept the claims auditor report and approve the payment in the amount of $380,110.33 for warrant number 6 dated September 11, 2025. We're going to go to item number 11G. Contract invoice C0007-26. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept contract invoice C0007-26? Motion? Jerry?
Second.
Second. Tammy? Second? Go ahead.
I just want to know what it's for. That's all.
You what?
I just want to know what it's for. Like, why are we paying Sullivan Bosse's for a contract invoice for looks like rental space or full time?
So we fund all the districts, the component districts fund BOCES. So they are renting space. They rent space from the college that we have students on. They rent space from the Liberty Mall where their offices are. So that rental is divided across all the schools. It's done on an R-water basis, which is basically an average daily attendance weighted balance. So depending on the number of students, the number of factors is what the percentage each school pays.
Have we been doing this for years?
Yeah, forever. Yeah, it's been forever. And the same thing with capital projects. Their capital projects are funded. They don't, so their capital projects are funded. So they update their CTE lab, just an example. We all pay a fair share of that.
And how is it calculated? So is it based on the number of students each district has?
Yes, and their attendance, but yes, students, yes.
We cover the cost of all principals, all teachers, all support staff, all materials and supplies, and it just gets divided among the component schools.
If I may, I think they do a good job doing that because they're taking building that is not really being used to capacity, but for us to pay for a building project for them would be substantially more. So I think they're in the right way of doing things because their curriculum is constantly changing and their student body is constantly changing. So they never know the space they need or how many kids they're going to have. So it's a, I think they're doing a great job.
They have over 1,000 kids in the CTE program this year, so they've had
Yeah.
to rent space at the college, and other places. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else with anything? Okay, so we're going to vote on contract 11G, contract invoice C0007-26. All in favor, please raise your hands. That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve payment in the amount of $153,940 to Sullivan Bosse's for contract invoice C0007-26 as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 15 is board committee reports. We're going to do seven first read and adoptions tonight. You're the chair.
Yeah, I just want to do the committee report on
Okay,
policies.
go ahead.
Committee, policy committee met on the date that it was publicized. We had quite a lot to go over. We spent about almost 2 hours on it. And the input that the committee had, Ms. Berkey, Rose, Jerry, and myself, and Aaron were there, and ex officio was Keith. We had a tremendous discussion, and I hope everybody looked at it because these are very important ones. So we put a lot of time in that. What I was impressed with, we got a notice that said, please be prepared for all of it. And the committee came, and I was very pleased, and especially the ladies. The ladies brought, the two moms, brought stuff that I, as a dad, really didn't think about. And I really appreciate the input that you had, and it was well thought out. And we really came to a conclusion on that. So if your board members, other board members didn't look at that, you're missing out on a lot. So please take a look at that, and we're going to vote on it tonight, I hope. So thank you, committee.
Okay, we're going to go to item 15B, is policy 5500-R, first read and adoption. It is an action. Can I have a motion to approve policy 5500-R, first read and adoption? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Nicole, second by Tammy. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve and adopt policy 5500-R, student records regulation, as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 15C, policy 6710, first read and adoption. It is an action. Can I have a motion to approve policy 6710?
Motion.
Motion by Jerry, second by Kerry. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon a recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve and adopt policy 6710, purchasing authority, as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 15D is policy 8635. It is first read and adoption. It is an action. Can I have a motion to approve policy 8635? Motion by Nicole.
Second.
Second by Travis. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? Is George, you? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve policy 8635, information and data privacy, security, breach, and notification, as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 15E is policy 8635-R. It is first read and adoption. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept policy 8635-R?
Motion.
Motion by Tammy, second. Second by Nicole. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve and adopt policy 8635-R, information and data privacy, security, breach, and notification regulation, as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 15F is policy 9520.2, first read and adoption. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept policy 9520.2?
Motion.
Motion by George, second by Kerry. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve and adopt policy 9520.2, family and medical leave, as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to 15G is policy 9520.2-R, first read and adoption. It is an action. Can I have a motion to approve policy 9520.2-R?
Motion. I'll second
Motion
that.
by Jerry,
I'll
second by Travis. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, Board of Education is hereby approve and adopt policy 9520.2-R, family and medical leave regulation, as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 15H, policy 1120-R, first read and adoption. It is an action. Can I have a motion to approve policy 1120-R? Motion by Kerry, second. Second by Nicole. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education is hereby approved and adopt policy 1120-R, school district records regulation, is attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 16, old business. Don't believe we have anything tonight. Move to item number 17, public comment session for items that are not on tonight's agenda. I don't think anybody signed up. And then we move to item number 18. We have 17 things to go through, but the first one is the most important one. 18A is tenure resolution. Can I have a motion to accept the tenure resolution?
Motion.
Motion by Jerry, second
Second.
by Tammy, second. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that in compliance with the provisions of Section 3013 of the Education Law and Part 30 of the Rules of the Board of Regents, and upon the recommendation from Erin Long, Superintendent of Schools, that Michelle Decker, a probationary teaching assistant, having been appointed by the Board of Education to a 4-year probationary appointment in the tenure area of teaching assistant, effective December 2, 2021, and having been shown that Michelle Decker holds a valid New York State certificate, number 1892-731251, in the Tri-Valley Central School District. Now, by resolution of this Board of Education dated November 13, 2025, this Board of Education does hereby appoint Michelle Decker to tenure in the area of teaching assistant, effective December 2, 2025. Congratulations. Matt Haynes, would you like to come up and speak, Michelle? If not, it's okay. We have cookies and we could take a break for a few minutes and have some refreshments. Take a break.
I apologize. I was so interested in those board committee reports that I somehow missed my name being called. I thought you said Michelle, so I was really into the committee
Thank God,
reports.
at least
so.
somebody's listening.
But but thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Matt Haynes. I'm a secondary school ELA teacher here and also the president of the Tri-Valley Teachers Association. I was asked to say a few words about Michelle Decker tonight, who just received tenure, and I'm honored for this opportunity. When I think about educators, I have a lot of strong beliefs. And when it comes to subject content, I believe just about anyone can learn and deliver adequate content to students. When it comes to classroom management, I believe the same. Educators can learn this. Same can be said for grading, procedures, routines, everything else that deals with education. All this can be learned by educators. But there's one attribute that cannot be learned and cannot be taught. All of the great educators, including all of your favorite teachers from the past, had it, and they have heart. Let me tell you, Michelle Decker has heart. As part of her duties, Michelle is tasked with educating some of the more challenging students at our school. She often has students who lack trust in adults and who really aren't big fans of listening to authority. Yet Michelle handles these students with ease. Through her use of tough love, they respect her because of her kindness, her tenacity, and her belief in them. Michelle lets students see how big of a heart she has. On a personal level, Michelle has earned my complete trust over the years. I know that when I need something done, I can always count on her. The same can be said for all of her colleagues. We know Michelle is always there for us. Her heart is in the right place. That's because Michelle is a great person, a great friend, a great educator, and a truly special member of our Tri-Valley family. I could not be more proud of her for receiving tenure tonight. Thank you for everything, Michelle. You make a difference.
And congratulations, Michelle. Okay, moving to item 18B is the budget calendar. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept the 2026 budget calendar? Well, who was that, Tammy? Tammy and Nicole? Any discussion?
I personally like to see it moved up a month. I think we got a lot to discuss about this year, as every year, but I think we have more to discuss this year.
We can, if we want to approve it tonight, I can take a look at it and then we can amend it.
I just like to see what the other board members think, that's all.
I don't know how much faster we can move right now. We're at the 13th and we're aligned with what districts are doing with their budget calendars. But
What exactly did you want to see moved up?
The process.
So by moving every date up a month, George?
Yeah.
In doing that, though, the next date on here would be December 11th, which would already put us 2 days back.
December 11th.
Right, but if we were moving it up a month, we're already kind of behind it.
I just brought it up.
I do agree with you with
No,
getting a
I'm
quicker
just trying to
moving,
make a
but
point how important I think it is.
I just don't think a month is feasible.
So a lot's going to happen at the state level in the next couple of weeks, and the projections will come out around December 1st for our state aid. We won't be able to put anything together really until we have a good picture, but we are meeting with all of our departments and framing our budget much quicker this year. And if we change the meeting to the 18th, we have to reflect that in this calendar too. We have to update that. If you want to approve it tonight, I can go back to the drawing board and see what we can do.
I'll go along with it. I'm just
Yep.
trying to
Understood.
make a point.
Understood.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Anything? Okay, we'll take a vote. All those in favor of approving the 2026 budget calendar, raise your hand. It is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the proposed 2025 to 2026 budget calendar as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 18C, 2026 budget vote and member election dates. It is in action, and I have a motion to approve the 2026, it would be 18C to 2026 budget vote and member election dates. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by George, second by Jerry. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote. By hand, all in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the following date for the budget vote and member elections, Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. Moving to item 18D is the claims auditor appointments. It is in action. Can I have a motion to approve the 18D claims auditor appointments?
Motion.
Motion by Travis, second by Tammy. Any discussion?
Are these different than the ones we appointed back when the school year started?
So we normally just appoint a claims auditor from BOCES, and BOCES has been doing a lot of training and so improving some of their practices. And one of the things that came out of the training is we have to identify exactly who our claims auditors are. So we have 3 ladies that look through our warrants. So we have to approve all 3 of them.
And if I may, if you know, what's their salary? Do we pay their salary? Portion of it?
It would be paid through our COSER with BOCES, yes.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, and all those in favor, please raise your hand. That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the following Sullivan BOCES employees as district claims auditors for the 2025-2026 school year. Claims Auditor, Ms. Shelley Marcus, Deputy Claims Auditor, Ms. Gail Brearley, and Deputy Claims Auditor, Ms. Diane Rose. Moving to item 18E is donations. It's an action. Can I have a motion to approve 18E donations? Motion by Kerry,
Second.
second by Travis. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby accept the following donations. 1 bag of flag football belts, 8 bags of assorted candy with a value of $119.92 for use in the trunk or treat by the theater club and FFA by Mr. Drew Barasic. 814 fresh apples for the Big Apple Crunch with an estimated value of $300 from Whiteman Farms, parentheses, Ashley Whiteman. $100 from the Neversink Rondout Antique Machinery Association to the Tri-Valley FFA for work performed during the annual festival, and 5 hay bales at an approximate value of $8 per bale from Maple Woods Farm, parentheses, Amy Barkley Carey, for use in the garden to cover garlic for over the winter. Moving to item number 18F is extracurricular account creation. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept 18F extracurricular account creation?
So move.
Motion by George,
Second.
second by Travis. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? It is unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education is hereby approved the creation of an extracurricular account for the class of 2031. Moving to item number 18G is merger of sports teams / wrestling teams. It is in action. Can I have a motion to accept 18G, merger of sports teams, wrestling teams? Motion by Jerry,
Second.
second by Travis. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the merger of the Tri-Valley Central School District wrestling team with the Fallsburg Central School District wrestling team for the 2025-2026 school year as described in the application attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 18H, merger of sports teams, Alpine Ski Team. This is an action. Can I have a motion to accept item 18H, merger of sports teams, Alpine Ski Team?
Motion.
Motion by Travis, second by Kerry. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the merger of the Tri-Valley Central School District Alpine Ski Team with the Fallsburg Central School District Alpine Ski Team for the 2025-2026 school year as described in the application attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item 18I, memorandum of agreement for cheerleading. It is in action. Can I have a motion to accept 18I, memorandum of agreement for cheerleading?
Motion.
All right, who was that?
Me and Tammy.
All right, motion by Rose, second by Tammy. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the memorandum of agreement between the Tri-Valley Central School District and the Tri-Valley Teachers Association as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item 18J is the memorandum of agreement for Samantha Dams. It is in action. Can I have a motion to approve 18J, memorandum of agreement for Samantha Dams?
So moved.
This is a motion by George, second by Tammy. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the memorandum of agreement between the Tri-Valley Central School District and Mrs. Samantha Dams as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item 18K is the memorandum of agreement for Tessa Night Differential. It is in action. Can I have a motion for 18K memorandum of agreement, Tessa Night Differential? Motion by Jerry, second by Tammy. Any discussion?
Just a question. We've been doing a lot of contracts lately. Is this part of why it should have been in with the contract, or why was it brought up now? Why wasn't it brought up before? Just give me a little history if you could. I don't have a problem with it. I just want to
Yep.
know why it wasn't part of the contract.
What we noticed was that our nighttime crew gets paid a differential for their evening work, but when they take vacation or sick time, they don't get that nighttime differential. And we sat down with the Tessa team and talked about why they're not getting that. Those are their earned hours. And so that's the rate of pay they get for the evening hours that they earn off for sick time or personal time or vacation time. And so we honored the Tessa group that works in the evening by ensuring that they get their differential for the time that they've earned off.
How did that get missed during negotiations?
I think it's been missed for years. I think it was something that we picked up on and we wanted to make right.
No, I don't have a problem with it. I'm just
Yeah.
asking.
I think it's been the way for a long time, and it really some of these discussions come up when we are talking about payroll and then making sure payroll is done correctly, and we realize that our folks that are working at night and earning their time off and
Yeah,
then take their time off.
Again, I don't have a problem.
So
I'm
we
just
corrected it.
wondering how it came about.
Any other discussion? Okay, please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the memorandum of agreement between the Tri-Valley Central School District and the Tri-Valley Essential Support Staff Association as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item 18L is memorandum of understanding for driving. It is in action. Can I have a motion to accept item 18L, memorandum of understanding for driving? Motion by Tammy,
Second.
second by Jerry. Any discussion?
So what are the requirements to be a driver here? Is there driver training? Do we run driver history? How do you become approved to be a driver?
So this is one of our newer things we're doing. We have 3 ladies that are 19A certified. It's Linda Hussey, it is Tanya Hugler, and it is Tara Barasic-Burke. So what we are trying to do is offer them an opportunity with pay to drive our students to something using our white bus legally. So legally be able to drive that. So they've been through the bus driver training with Rolling V. They have their 19A qualification. This is just something we're thinking about when we're saying we've got 8 kids that need to go someplace on a Saturday. Would you rather take them with our school vehicle, our school bus, than us spending the money to get a Rolling V bus and a driver?
They have to have the 19A certification.
This MOU is for 19A certification. What you'll see later is occasional driver, and that's different.
Any other discussion? Okay, please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? George, okay, that is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the memorandum of understanding between the Tri-Valley Central School District, the Tri-Valley Educational Support Staff Association, and the Tri-Valley Teachers Association as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item 18M is memorandum of understanding for Kimberly Costa. It is in action. Can I have a motion to approve item 18M, the memorandum of understanding for Kimberly Costa?
Motion.
Motion by Travis, second by Tammy. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education is hereby approved the memorandum of understanding between the Tri-Valley Central School District and Mrs. Kimberly Costa as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 18N is Psychological Evaluation Services Agreement for the Center for Discovery. It is in action. Can I have a motion to approve item 18N, Psychological Evaluation Services Agreement?
So
Center
moved.
for Discovery.
So move.
Motion by George,
Second.
second by Rose. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the Psychological Evaluation Services Agreement between the Tri-Valley Central School District and the Center for Discovery as attached to the executive section of the agenda. Moving to item number 18O is the resolution approval of the auditor's report. It is in action. Can I have a motion to approve item 18O, resolution approval for the auditor's report? Motion by Tammy, second by Nicole. Any discussion?
Will we all receive a copy of that?
I mean, it was sent digitally,
We have
but
10 of them.
Have to make sure because there's some we have to retain, some we have to send, whether I can give a physical. Everybody did get a digital.
No, okay.
Okay. I thought I read that we were going to receive a copy tonight.
Put me on the list. I think every board member should get one.
all right, so they'll work on that.
Is that part of the contract that they give us one, or do we have to pay for the extra books?
No, they bound them all for us.
Thank you.
Anybody else, any discussion? Okay, so all in favor, please raise your hand. That is unanimous, thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the 2024-2025 Auditor's Report as presented by Justin Wood of Nugent and Hostler, PC, on November 13th, 2025. Moving to item 18P is the Tri-Valley Teachers Association Contract Amendment. It is in action. Can I have a motion to approve the item 18P, Tri-Valley Teachers Association Contract Amendment? Motion by Jerry, second by Tammy. Any discussion?
How did that slip through the contract negotiations again?
It didn't slip through. It was more of a typo. So there was no slip through with like money or anything. It was just the date was wrong at the top. And I just wanted to make sure we were transparent and corrected that.
I meant slipping through as far as being forgotten. I didn't mean anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the amendment to the Tri-Valley Teachers Association contract, Addendum B, nurse's salary, as attached herein to the public portion of the agenda. Last but not least, 18Q, Ulster and Sullivan Counties tax affidavits. It is in action. Can I have a motion to approve 18Q, Ulster and Sullivan Counties tax affidavits? Motion by Kerry, second by Tammy. Any discussion?
Does the amount mean that has not been paid? Is that what it is?
On which page? Because there's multiple.
Ulster and Sullivan County.
Right. I'm just trying to
Or-
figure out which page. So if we go to, yes, that total of the $163,000 is what Ulster has not been paid. And then as we scroll down, it's, yeah, in Sullivan, that's the one. Now I'm looking for the actual full county, sorry. And the full county is 864 and change for Sullivan.
So what towns specifically are in the arrears?
It's not that the towns are in arrears. These
No,
are,
I mean the people that didn't pay that live in those towns.
so it's every town but Rochester, and I'd have to check if we even have any towns that are not state land in any properties that are not state land in Rochester. So it's every one of the towns has some amount that we didn't collect.
So when do they make us whole, those counties? What's the timeline?
Believe it's, I don't want to misspeak, but I believe it's by January 1st. I don't want to, but I'm not certain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion? Okay, please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that Mrs. Martha Lee Turbush, school tax collector, has duly sworn that the following aggregate amounts for the respective counties have been found to be uncollected, and that such amounts are hereby being returned to the appropriate county for collection in accordance with applicable law. Ulster County is $163,618.95. Sullivan County is $173,514.22. Moving on to item number 19, board comment session. Want to start it off, Christopher? Anything?
So, question for Ms. Long. I wanted to follow up on feedback I've received from several students regarding lunch portion sizes. Could we get an update on how communication is going between administration and cafeteria staff about possible adjustments to it? Students have just been wondering what the current status is, and I'm trying to get updates for them.
Great question. We are working with the cafeteria staff and Whitson's daily on the menu changes. You can see there's new menu changes for this month and next month. We've introduced a breakfast pizza. We've got smoothies that are protein smoothies that they're having in the morning and at lunch. We've introduced a couple different type of breakfast burritos, putting scrambled eggs on the menu. We've added soup to our menus, but we are working with them on portion size. We are also meeting tomorrow with a man named Jim Bigley. He is a food consultant, so he will be meeting with us at 10 a.m. and he will come in and help us do kind of an independent audit of our cafeteria so that it's a much more objective lens on making sure that the portion sizes that our kids should be getting according to the USDA regs are actually what they're getting. And you'll notice in the cafeteria as well that we've added a section in the secondary school where there's a couple of trays of free fruits and vegetables available every day at the end of lunch. So that gets put out after all the food is served and it stays till after the bell rings. So kids are able to walk out with an apple, a banana, a couple bags of carrots, and there's no restriction on portions or how much they have, so they can take as many of those with them. Still working on a refrigerator so we can house some of those extra snacks that we have and the extra food. And then we're also in the final stages of completing a USDA grant that will give us food from governmental food that we can pick through. We'll order it through Whitson's, and then that we can use that for all of our extracurricular activities, all of our sports, all of our plays, all of our clubs, and that will provide some more for us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Great question.
Erin, can I just piggyback off that? With the breakfast, how much time do our students have between when they're unloading off of the bus and when they have to be in class? Or is there a reasonable amount of time for them to go get breakfast?
There is. And so there's been some kiosks out here where they can grab and go because they go to a homeroom for 10 minutes and they should be able to get their breakfast and eat in their homeroom before they leave for their first period.
Travis?
I have nothing for tonight.
Christopher, are you done or did you have something? Okay. Derek?
Two things. Congrats to Michelle. I think she left already. The other thing I wanted to mention is, we have a lot of great things going on with our students, but they haven't really presented to us at all this year thus far. We have the FFA that went nationally to compete. The FBLA just recently competed. So it'd be nice to start hearing from some of our students or clubs at the meetings. And I know it's 9:11 p.m. and nobody wants
No, but
to-
they're both on the agenda for next month.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so it's nice to hear some of our students. And just good luck to cross.
Congrats to Michelle Decker, and also thanks for all the information I learned at the New York State School Board Association convention.
Tammy?
Just congrats to Mrs. Decker and happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
I'm glad you raised the convention. That was very, very informing information. I'm a 20-year board member. It's a changing world, and I really learned a lot from the sessions I went. So I do have some information. Anybody wants it, but also it's online if you want to pick some stuff up. But other than the venue, it was a great session. And New York City is New York City. Foxcroft. Is Foxcroft back at their assessed value that originally, before we gave them that 20% discount?
I don't know that. It sold to a different company. So this lawsuit that's been settled has been settled with Foxcroft, but River Valley owns it now. It's different owners. We would have to do some digging on that and see what the assessed value is now.
I know it's been in the news. Fuel bid. When are we going out with fuel bid? There's been some pushback today from a lot of the fuel people that use diesel. So I expect it to start to go down a little bit. So what's your plan on sending out for bids? Not too soon, right?
So we don't send out the bids. They're done through DCNO BOCES, who does a a lot of the bids across the state for many districts, and they're really on top of what's the best time to send the bid out. Last year they sent it out late. Some years they want to send it out early. They have whatever they're looking at futures and stuff that I don't understand on the oil markets of when they send the bid out. They try to time it so it's the best for the district. So
It's the first time it's ever been explained to me that way, but thank you. Basketball. When is all the kids tested up now? Because I know if some of them are moving up, basketball for them from modified to JV starts Monday. So are they all tested up, or has there been some issues?
I'm not sure about that, but I will get that answer for you.
Because parents are asking the questions about why they have not had their kids test up yet. Just recently, I asked about AI. Just recently, a local school just had a lawsuit, and it pertained to AI. So if we don't have a policy, we should look into it a little bit more and maybe look at this lawsuit, what happened in another district. And it's gone. It's got quite a lot of news on it. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not.
Yes. We have AI is already built into our student handbook. So we've been ahead of that for a couple of years.
Well, it was rather interesting how that district handled it. And they were absolutely, right now anyway, incorrect.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have some news for anyone who hasn't heard about it. I was elected to a Town of Neversink justice position. And according to education law, I'm going to have to resign from my board seat here. I can keep BOCES because it's not publicly elected. So December 31st will be my last day. And I'll be resigning from the board. So at our next meeting on December 18th, anyone who's interested in taking over the president's spot, please let me know, and we'll have an election on December 18th. And that's it. Motion to adjourn. Motion by Travis, second by Nicole. Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? Thank you. It is 9:16.